Good evening, guys. Welcome to tonight's episode of Facts First. Ako po inyong host, si Christian Esguerra. So today is December 14, Thursday. Maraming salamat po sa patuloy niyo pong pagsuporta dito po sa ating podcast, dito po sa ating programa. And ngayong gabi, pag-uusapan po natin yung escalating tensions dyan po sa West Philippine Sea. I'm sure marami sa inyo nakatutok po talaga sa mga nangyari dyan because this has been going on for quite some time. And lately, we've been seeing escalating tensions. And of course, labanan ng ano yan eh. Sino ba may hawak ng katotohanan, ng facts? Well, kung pag-aaralan niyo lang po muna yung facts, facts first. Obvious naman na ang nasa tama, legal at moral, Pilipinas. Pero bakit kaya tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung China padating dito sa kanilang pangaharas sa ating mga mangingisda, sa ating mga Philippine vessels, dito po sa sarili nating bakuran sa West Philippine Sea, sa ating exclusive economic zone. Ngayon, sinasabi ng iba, ano ba yung mga naitutulong sa atin ng ating mga kaalyado? At bakit sila importante pagdating po dito sa pagtindig natin dito po sa pambubuli ng China? So yan po yung pag-uusapan natin ngayong gabi, and we're going to talk about a specific ally, United States, no? Tayong kanilang oldest treaty ally dito sa Asia. At pag-uusapan natin kung ano ba yung perspective dito at kung ano ba yung pwede pa maitulong ng ating kaalyado pagdating dito. So I'd like to welcome to our program, welcome to our program ngayong gabi si Philippine Ambassador to Washington, si Ambassador Jose Manuel Babe Romualdez. Good morning there sa Washington, and good evening here
Hi.
from Manila, sir.
Yes, good evening, Christian, and thank you very much for inviting me. And more, your
Uh,
program is beginning to be more and more popular, even here in the United States.
well,
So,
that's good to know,
congratulations.
sir. Maraming salamat, Ambassador Babe. Let's talk about this, no? Unang-una, of course, we've been monitoring what has been happening sa Scarborough Shoal lately, tsaka dyan po sa Ayungin Shoal. How serious are these tensions, these escalating tensions that we've been seeing over the past few days?
Well, it's definitely very, very serious in the sense that I've always maintained on a personal basis, plus many of our friends in the intelligence community have always said that the real flashpoint in the Indo-Pacific region is the South China Sea. It's not really Taiwan. Taiwan is a if there's any move that the Chinese will make, the Chinese leaders specifically, it will be a calculated move. Now, in the South China Sea, it's totally different. You could see that all of these skirmishes and all of this aggression is taking place on a regular basis, and it will continue to escalate. So, this is really something that not only do we have to watch out for, but our friends and allies all over the world are looking at this very seriously, and that we have to have contingency plans at what we will do.
And why do you think China is escalating tensions po lately dito sa West Philippine Sea?
I think that a majority of that is because the leadership in China really believes that the South China Sea is part of their territory. They increased it from 9 to 10-line. Who knows how far it will go? But on the other hand, there is also what I would call a test of our relationship, especially with the United States. I think that they're testing us. They're testing the relationship and how committed the United States is, and at the same time, also sort of like punishing us for going towards the West, so to speak. But clearly, we're on the right side of what we're doing. I think President Marcos has made it very clear that he will do everything and anything to make sure that we protect our territorial integrity, and that is a commitment that he has made not only to the Filipino people but to the world, as a matter of fact. And that's why the admiration that he has had, especially here in the United States, is really tremendous, and I'm very proud of him.
And of course, the difference when it comes to the Philippine approach now to China under this administration is like night and day, compared to the previous administration. I think that's quite clear, no?
Yeah, well, it's probably true, but perhaps the previous administration looked at appeasement as a way of being able to peacefully try to talk about it, but I guess it didn't work because the more the aggression took place, and now they truly believe that, especially in the Thomas Shoal, you can see that they really believe that it's theirs and that they now control the area and that we have to ask permission, which is totally unacceptable.
Now, in terms of that appeasement na binabanggit niyo po, no, how big a setback was that? Because right now, from where I'm sitting, I'm seeing what the administration of President Marcos is doing now as some sort of a course correction para itinutuwid yung ano no, yung paglalayag, so to speak, to use that metaphor. But how much of that appeasement policy of the previous administration is somehow putting a burden on the current approach now?
If we look at history, appeasement with any kind of leadership that believes that it has a mission, like what happened in Europe in World War II, and even to a certain extent in our region during World War II. Appeasing is not really going to work. When one has really is determined to try to dominate an area, the only way is to really push back. So I think we have to really look back at history. But unfortunately, history hopefully will not repeat itself because this time around, we know what the consequences are. If there's any major conflict that happens, we may really just say that it's the end of the world because of the kind of weaponry that is now available to many countries, especially the superpowers.
Right now, Ambassador, how would you describe the Marcos administration's policy or approach toward this specific China issue dito sa West Philippine Sea?
I think it is doing exactly what any government should do, and that is their main job, so to speak, is to make sure that we protect our territorial integrity. It's in our constitution, so that if for some reason any leader makes a deal in almost giving away anything, that is actually a crime. It's a crime against our people, and it's something that he was sworn to do and protect our country. So it is a duty. He must to continue to do what he's doing right now, which is the right thing to do.
You mentioned kanina, Ambassador, na China is probably testing our relationship with the United States. Matagal na itong relationship na to. Of course, we have the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. Pero how are we performing in terms of this test? Ibig sabihin, the United States, you've been hearing consistently yung ironclad support. Pero how exactly is that being translated pagdating dito sa girian sa mismong West Philippine Sea?
Nakikita natin na talagang ang Estados Unidos ay talagang kasama natin dito dahil it's also in their interest. Alam nila na the Philippines plays a major role. We are part of that geopolitical situation, and we are geographically located in one of the most important real estate, as was mentioned by the former US president. So it's important for them. At the same time, obviously, we want to take advantage of that 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, which we've had for so many years, precisely as an offshoot of what happened during World War II. We are definitely going to invoke that if we need to, because we need a country like the United States, a major ally, and other allies as well. As you can see, that the administration of President Marcos is reaching out to other countries, and a lot of other countries are supporting us on this one, on this effort to push back on the kind of aggressive behavior that China is doing to us.
And I think especially given what with what happened more recently, no, mas maraming mga bansang nagbigay ng kanilang expressions of support and condemnation. Yung sinasabi niyo ano, for instance, yung support ng United States, no. They agree na so far since we have this MDT, it's been serving as a deterrent for to prevent things from worsening dyan sa West Philippine Sea.
Yes, definitely. Alam mo yung MDT na yan is really something that from if we look back at what happened in the 1950s, actually after the war in 1945, 1946, our treaty with the United States was born out of the fact that we worked together, or we fought together, as a matter of fact, during World War II, and it was incumbent upon the administration then in 1947, 48, and leading up to 1951, where we signed the Mutual Defense Treaty. And remember, there was also the Korean War, which was also an aggressive behavior that was taking place at that time. So we needed to have a strong ally to be able to work with them, as we did in World War II. So yung sinasabi ng mga tao na nandiyan na naman tayo, parang we're trying to be subservient to the United States. Hindi naman totoo yan. The fact of the matter is, the US has always played a major role in our country since time immemorial, and there's nothing wrong with it as long as we continue to exercise our sovereign rights and our sovereignty. We have shown that on many occasions. We've had disagreements with the United States on many, many occasions. But at the end of the day, makasama pa rin tayo. And I think that hindi natin pwedeng i-undo what has already happened in the past, in the sense that talagang ang tie-up natin sa US is very strong. Pero at the same time, we're also reaching out to many countries as well. This administration of President Marcos, I can tell you, has never had so much aggressive moves towards reaching out to all countries all over the world, including China. We have tried on many occasions. I think President Marcos, when he went in January for the state visit, he had a very frank discussion with President Xi. Nagka-areglo na sila, na mag-uusap sila kung mayroong mga tensyon dyan sa ating region. Wala naman nangyari doon. And then, alam natin na we were not really very optimistic yung gumawa tayo ng bilateral meeting with President Xi sa San Francisco not too long ago, just a month ago, when President Marcos attended the APEC. And ganun pa rin. Ngayon, parang medyo dismissive nga si President Xi, so medyo nawalan tayo ng gana sa kanya na tingin. No? So I think history will bear out that we've done what we could to find ways and means to have a peaceful resolution. Pero just the same, ganun pa rin ang ginagawa natin. We're reaching out to China and to other countries that can try to convince China that this is not the way to go. All countries know that kung tama yung, I always believe that right is might, and might is not right. And it will, in the end, that is what's going to happen. Again, going back to what happened in World War II.
Okay. In terms of options, no? Kasi marami rin tayong mga kababayan po na medyo naiinip na, no? Parang sinasabi nila. Of course, you file diplomatic protests, kailangan talaga, and it's very important. But in terms of options to somehow siguro be more effective in terms of at least making China think twice before harassing our fishermen, our vessels, what options are still available to us? What other options?
Well, Christian, unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to say exactly what are the options that are available to us. We do have quite a number of options available to us now, especially with our allies, specifically the United States, Japan, Australia, and other countries as well. Pero one thing I can tell you, that we have moved forward from where we were. This time around, we are making clear to the Chinese that we are not going to give away any of our territory. Now, that message has to be continuous. We have to be relentless in that, and we have to be clear and what you call this, making sure that they understand that we are not going to move or budge an inch. President Marcos has said that on many occasions. In fact, his latest statement out of his Twitter account clearly shows that he is determined to continue to push back. Now, hopefully at some point in time, we're hoping that the leadership in China will find it better for us to sit down and really seriously discuss these things. Ano mo, diplomatic approach is never a bad option. It's always the best option, as a matter of fact. And so if we continue to show that we are determined to protect our territory, which is what happened to some other countries, I think there will be light at the end of the tunnel. But our countrymen should really realize that this is one of the most challenging times in our history. Ito talaga far more serious than we've ever had. We've had so many ups and downs in our country, pero this time, kailangan united tayo dito dahil ito, if for some reason we cave in, talaga wala na tayong bayan mag-uusapan. And we don't want that. No one wants to lose a country.
Mm. I think that's pretty clear naman po, no? Siguro it's safe to say majority of Filipinos talagang maintindihan naman yung sense of urgency about this. Yun nga pala, Ambassador, no? Given this latest aggressive aggression, gawin na natin term na aggression by China, in China
Mhm.
Coast Guard dito sa West Philippine Sea, some of our legislators, even people online are saying, dapat i-banish na yung Chinese ambassador dito sa Pilipinas, no? I mean, as a diplomat, how do you see that as an option in terms of sending a stronger message to Beijing?
Well, alam mo, that is something that we have to study carefully. It's easy for us to declare anyone persona non grata. We have that option all the time. Pero kung nakikita natin ineffective itong ambassador ng China sa atin and the messages are not delivered, if that is our view, then we can formally request China to change their ambassador. We don't have to necessarily declare him to be persona non grata, but we can just simply say that we feel that communication, there's a lack of communication going to the leadership. Pero sa tingin ko hindi ganoon eh. I think the Chinese ambassador is just simply mouthing what the leadership wants to communicate. They change the narrative every time something happens. They blame us instead of the world blaming them for what's happening in our part of the territory. And again, it's just something that we can't do anything about in the sense that kung ganun ang isip nila, wala tayong magagawa. Of course, we have personal reasons for some of our leaders in the country. Alam ko si Senator Subiri medyo matindi ang galit niya sa Chinese ambassador dahil meron silang usapan noon at mukhang pinalalabas na si Senator Subiri pang hindi nagsasabi ng totoo.
Yung
Maski
nagsinungaling.
sino naman maski sino naman magagalit sa ganyan, di ba? But ganyan na nga eh. That's what's happening right now eh. Pag meron tayong pinadadalang demarche or note verbal, laging binabaliktad nila. In fact, dito sa US, ganun din ang ginawa nila recently. In fact, the recent incident, tinawag ng US ang China kung bakit nila ginagawa yan. At of course, they told them and warned them that we are with the Philippines. Clearly, another sign that the United States is committed to us in their commitment in our mutual defense treaty. Pero ganun rin, pinaikot nila at sinabi nila ang Pilipinas ang we were the ones who were being aggressive. We were parang tinutuya daw natin sila. Talagang pag ganyan ang salita maski sino hindi matutuwa sa ganyan na salita.
Oo, actually sa narrative nila, it's the Philippine vessels, yung Coast Guard yung nagpo-provoke daw sa China. Tsaka 'di ba yung latest revelation ni Senator JV Ejercito, nakwento raw sa kanya ni Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner, 'di ba? Na kinonfront siya ng mismong Chinese ambassador daw in one event at sinabi, "Don't provoke us." I mean, yung mga ganyang no? Parang somehow it speaks of how brazen they can be. Is that correct?
Well, I'm not aware of that. Pero alam mo yung mga ganyan na salita, tayo mga Pilipino, we're very patient people eh. Pero pag tayo masyadong tinutulak na, hindi tayo papayag sa ganyan eh. Minsan nga humahawak tayo sa patalim, di ba? Kung ganyan patayan ko sa patayan. Pero ayaw natin ng ganyan na away. Gusto natin mag-usap tayo ng mabuti at masinsinan. Pero pag ganyan ang mga salita, maraming Pilipino hindi na mapapayag sa ganyan eh. Kasi parang linuloko na tayo eh. Hindi tayo papayag sa ganyan. Maski sino, maski presidente natin, maski na yung nagtatrabaho sa labas, yung mga overseas workers natin, lahat sila, hindi sila natutuwa sa ganyan ng mga salita. Kasi para tayo pang ang nagbubuli tayo na nga ang binubuli. At sinasabi lang natin ayaw natin ng away. Pero pag when push comes to shove, ang pagkaalam ko sa Pilipino palaban hanggang sa kamatayan.
Okay. Importante po dyan, of course, yung modernization, which is a process, no? It's a long game, at least for the Philippines, no? To modernize our capabilities ng AFP ng Coast Guard. Pero ano po ba yung mga latest na mga, let's say, assistance that we have been getting from the United States, or including yung mga siguro promises in the future to help us with better equipment and to modernize our AFP?
Well, itong EDCA, contrary again to what some people are saying, itong EDCA is really helping us in modernizing our armed forces. The training that our soldiers are getting is top class. I think anyone who is a witness to that can tell you that our soldiers are now better and well trained. The equipment, of course, kasama yan. It's both assistance, merong financing, very lenient financing coming from the United States, and of course, yung ating procurement plan. So all three of those facets of our modernization program is what's going to bring us to the level that we want to bring it. No? So it's ongoing. Maraming equipment na dumadating na at padating. We're in the process, of course, of trying to get more really very important equipment like for instance, yung F-16 na matagal na nating pinag-usapan yan. Nandito si Senator Subiri not too long ago at he himself saw that there is an effort from the United States to help us get F-16s. Pero we have to change the law kasi yung law natin sa procurement kailangan brand new. Yung brand new medyo sobrang mahal yung lalo na yung F-16 na yung Block 70 na tinatawag nila, which is the modern F-16s already. We cannot afford that. So there's F-16s that is now being that is hardly used actually from another country, from a third country, which the United States is urging us to purchase, and we can get enough of the F-16s that we need. So yan yung mga ganyan, malaking tulong sa atin ng Amerika dyan. And if we are able to change that procurement law, makakabili tayo nitong ito at saka tulong din ng Amerika sa atin. Yung kanilang finance.
Ito pong pagpapalit dun sa part ng procurement law, this is now in the works based on your conversations with
Yes.
the
Yes,
Senate President?
from what I'm told, he already filed or they filed the bill already. Napalitan nila na it's a more realistic way of buying. Kasi alam mo, a brand new F-16 can cost almost so many hundreds of billions of dollars. Di natin kaya yung ganyan. We have to be realistic. While it's nice to hear na bumili tayo ng ganyan, pero pag wala tayong ganyan na pera, kailangan we have to be practical. And ako, I'm convinced na itong mga equipment na pwede natin bilhin sa ibang bansa, malaking tulong sa atin yan. In fact, our Air Force, kausap ko lang yung mga Air Force, meron tayong Air Force attaché dito. Sa kanila talagang they really are just dying to have the F-16s. These are really very good aircraft that can really protect our shores from above. And of course, marami tayong tinitingnan ng mga boats, na yung mga PT boats or whatever, the Coast Guard cutters that we're getting from other countries as well.
Yung F-16 fighters, ilan yung pinag-uusapan po natin dito? Yung
At
dito
least
sa
one dozen. Minimum of
Tatlong?
1 dozen, and we're hoping to get as many as I think something like 30 down the road. No? And you know, the good thing about these F-16s is yan ang tinatawag na workhorse ngayon ng maraming Air Force all over the world. Some of the aircraft that they bought from other countries, they're not happy with. Kaya ito parang ano nito tested na ito, time-tested na itong F-16s. This is really what we need to be practical about it. At saka siyempre marami rin tayong yung mga unmanned aircraft na gustong bilhin. I think Israel is one of those that has been offering us, although we don't know where that is right now with what's happening in the Middle East. Pero that's another country that's really out there to try to help us modernize our armed forces.
Doon naman po, yung sa immediate concerns, because we're doing resupply missions no, dito sa Ayungin Shoal, dun sa BRP Sierra Madre, and ang laging ginagawa ng China, pinipigilan. Di ba, more recently, sa Scarborough, meron ding supply mission sa mga mangingisda, binomba rin ng tubig. Ang claim ng China ay kasi raw, din sa Ayungin, no, we're trying to, tawag dito, do construction or transport construction materials. Na in the first place, wala silang pakialam kung sakaling ginagawa man natin yan because this is the West Philippine Sea. Pero in terms of resupply missions, ang sinasabi ng iba, baka it's time for our allies to actually escort our vessels. Among them, United States. No? What do you think of that?
Well, medyo you're already opening up some options that we're looking at. Pero siyempre kasama yan dun sa mga options. Si National Security Advisor Ed Año, he's one of the best people that is now in the cabinet of the president. He's so well versed. He's highly respected not only by armed forces, but he's also highly respected here in the United States, especially at the White House. Alam niya kung ano exactly yung kailangan natin to be able to. And lahat ng mga options niyan, meron na tayong ginawang strategy kasama ng not only the US pero yung mga ibang allies natin that are prepared to go with us on this one. All those options are now in place. And the strategy is clear, straightforward, at we will not leave anything, what do you call this, hindi nating, kung kailangan natin gawin, gagawin natin. This is the good thing about what we have right now with the administration of President Marcos. He has given he has full confidence in our national strategy, our defense strategy, and Secretary Año is on top of this. Yan, napakaswerte natin na we have somebody like Secretary Año. Walang ano yan, walang aire, walang planong to run for any office, low-key. Nagtatrabaho lang talaga, and I really admire him. He's one of the many officers in our armed forces that I really have great admiration for, na talagang tunay na nationalistic at saka talagang mahal niya yung bayan natin.
Oh, that's what I heard din, Ambassador, no? Nung miss ko na nasa DALG siya, medyo mahirap pakiusapan yata, no? Kasi non-political
Diretso eh. Wala siyang, hindi niya iniisip yung dahil kailangan politika dito or what, he's just trying to please the president. Hindi ganun eh. Nakikita ko talaga eh. So he's really a soldier through and through eh. Kaya he's a national treasure as far as I'm concerned. Kasi I work with him eh. Alam ko yung kanyang attitude eh. Talagang diretso talaga. Kaya highly respected yan dito sa Amerika. Isang tawag lang niya sa White House, they will answer it right away.
talaga. That's how much
he has
value
access.
he has.
He has access to the White House on a regular basis.
Okay. In terms of strategies, no, tsaka yung mga options, how about dun sa Chinese influence operations? Na at least maganda, napapag-usapan ngayon, no? Pero, I don't know whether you're at liberty to talk about the details. Pero, is there a more or less solid plan to counter the Chinese influence operations?
I cannot say yes or no, but I'll tell you one thing. Again, let me just say this clearly. Hindi tayo papayag na tayo pa ang mali. Basta tayo gagawin natin yung tama. Yan, klaro-klaro yan. Yan, narinig ko mismo sa presidente, sinabi niya sa ating mga armed forces at sinabi niya kay Secretary Año. Gagawin natin ang tama. So as long as we're doing what is right and the world knows it, hindi tayo atras dyan. That's one thing I can tell you.
Okay. And sir, before we end, no, may mga nagpapatanong din ito, no? Among them si Tony Aguila. Hindi to related sa West Philippine Sea, pero regarding si Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, no? Alam natin merong kaso dyan sa United States. Ang tanong niya, at saka ng iba rin, pinapatanong to, no? Ano ba yung status ng is there an extradition request from the United States? Can you give us information about that?
Well, sa totoo lang, I just heard about a case that the pastor supposedly has here in the United States. Pero wala pa doon sa request for extradition. Normally yan dadaan either sa embassy dito sa Washington, D.C. or diretso sa US Embassy at ipadadala sa ating Justice Department. Wala pa ako naririnig na meron ng request ng US dyan.
Okay. Ambassador Jose Manuel Romualdez, sir, maraming salamat po. Thank you for accommodating our request. Napakaaga dyan sa Washington. Kumusta ba? Sobrang lamig na po ba?
Oo, malamig talaga dito sa Amerika ngayon. Pero, well, just the same, kailangan nakabihis tayo ng tama dahil ang lamig dito, ang sabi nila, winter is going to be a little worse than it ever was. Pero hopefully,
Mm.
hindi naman sana. Pero just the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, basta I'll tell you one thing, Christian. As I told you, your program is so popular here now in the United States. And I always welcome this type of conversation I have with you. So maraming
Okay.
salamat for inviting me. And happy holidays to you and all your viewers.
Okay. Maraming salamat din po, Ambassador Babe Romualdez. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance to you. So ulitin po. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yan po si Ambassador Babe Romualdez, no? At least nadinig natin yung perspective ng ating ambassador sa United States, no? May mga trolls dito, no? Hindi ko kayo binasa, no? Sorry kayo. Hindi ko kayo aambunan ng biyaya kasi pag binasa ko kayo, baka magka-bonus pa kayo, magpapasko, no? Sinasabi nila, gera na, no? Well, pag inanalyze po yung discussions na ito, kung simplistic mag-isip yung mga trolls tsaka yung mga loyalista ni Duterte, well, ganun talaga sila. Yan ang talking points nila, no? Pag nanindigan daw, gusto natin gera. No, of course not. We don't want any war. As much as possible, iwasan yan. Okay? Hindi po rin pinag-uusapan namin kanina yung F-16 fighters and procurement ng Pilipinas. Hindi ibig sabihin gusto natin ng gera. We're talking about these things in the context of the AFP modernization na ilang taon na po ongoing. Kailangan din kasi meron tayong tawag nila dyan. Alam ko bago na yung term pero credible defense posture na alala ko lagi. Para ba tipong meron tayong enough capabilities na for countries like China to somehow think twice before harassing us. Kasi alam nila medyo may ibubuga. I think wala pa tayo sa ganong status. But we're going toward that. That's the goal. Credible defense posture. In Filipino, at least are we credible enough, capable enough to give anyone a bloody nose? No? Hindi man natin matalo yung bully, at least mapaisip man lang. Mapaisip man lang sila na hindi basta-basta ito. Isa nga yan sa mga functions, diba? Imagine niyo kung wala tayong mutual defense treaty. Have you imagined that? No? Of course, the MDT, perhaps kailangan siyang i-review. Dahil ang context yan, Cold War Okay? Cold War realities, that was after the Second World War, 1951 po, yung mutual defense treaty natin sa Pilipinas. Siguro kailangan i-update, mas pag-aralan, at tingnan kung talaga bang mas makikinabang tayo dyan. Of course, pag tratado kasi dapat equal footing no? Hindi pwedeng nalalamangan ng isa. Okay? So magandang tinitingnan din yan. Pero imagine niyo kung wala tayong tratado with the United States, a defense pact. Parang ang dali sigurong sagasaan lalo ng ating mga mangingisda dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Ito lang po, no? Kaya maganda, nanonood kayo sa ating programa, no? Pag nakakapanood kayo, nakakabasa kayo ng mga narratives na pro-China, galing dito sa mga di umano'y Pilipino, sa mga trolls, no? Doon sa mga bayarang analyst. Tanongin niyo lang lagi, no? Unang-una, ano ba yung K ng China Coast Guard, ng Chinese Navy, ng Chinese Maritime Militia para pumunta at manatili sa ating sariling bakuran na ang tawag po West Philippine Sea. West Philippine Sea, ito po yung nasa west, tapos saklaw po yan noong ating tinatawag na exclusive economic zone. Dito po sa EEZ, tayo po yung may tinatawag na sovereign rights sa lahat ng resources na nandyan. So hindi dapat nandyan ang China. Pwedeng dumaan syempre, pero yung manatili, mag-swarm, kuyugin yung ating mga vessels, bombahin ng tubig. No. Hindi po dapat nangyayari yun. Pero syempre, kayang gawin ng China dahil malaking bansa sila at bully sila. At maraming Pilipino pa rin, hindi naman siguro ganun karami, no? Obvious naman na bayaran, no? Pinoprotektahan pa at tayo pa rin may kasalanan. Tayo pa yung sinisisi, no? Para ba sinuntok ka ng bully sa playground? Ikaw pa sinisi. Ayos ba? Ganun yun Oh. Tapos, pag pinag-usapan natin, let's say, yung AFP modernization, sasabihin ng iba, gusto nyo kasi gere. Naalala nyo ba kung sino yung politikong talagang, yan? Yung talagang nagpakalat ng ganyan naratibo? Di ba yung dating Pangulo, Rodrigo Duterte? Diba? Siya yung nagsabi niyan eh. O bakit gusto nyo gera? Hindi naman po Mr. President eh. Hindi porke gusto natin ipaglaban ang ating karapatan, yung word na paglaban, gusto natin makapagsuntukan sa China. Hindi po. Gusto lang natin manindigan tayo. At yung mismong ambassador na natin nagsabi, di ba? Si Ambassador Babe Romualdez. Yung appeasement policy ng Duterte administration, kung saan naging bahagi din siya, hindi nag-work. Clearly, it's not rocket science for us to determine that. Yung appeasement, no? May bully eh. Hindi, teka, wag nating offend yung bully kasi, di ba? Buti nga kung appeasement lang yung ginawa eh. Parang iba pa eh, no? Parang sobrang pagsipsip yung ginawa. Kaya ngayon, ito, like ko sinasabi to, no? Sinasabi ng mga loyalista naman ng mga Marcos eh, puro kayo anti-Marcos eh. Hindi po. Tingnan natin ginagawa ng Marcos administration dito. I agree. It's on the right track in terms of dealing with China. Tama yung ginagawa. Diba ang term nga ng ginagamit ko lagi dyan, course correction. Inaayos yung takbo ng ating paglalayag in terms of dealing with China. Kaysa naman dati. Diba? Para bang allergic yung dating administrasyon sa pagbanggit ng ating panalo sa Permanent Court of Arbitration. Kumbaga, nanalo ka ng isang landmark case. Bihirang manalo against sa bully like China. Diba? Naalala nyo, yung PCA ruling, ito yung nilabas noong July 2016. Bagong-bago pa yung Duterte administration. Di ba ayaw gamitin? Ayaw banggitin? Ayaw ma-offend yung China? Binanggit na toward the end of the administration. But it was too late. Alam nyo ba yung problema ron? Yung what was frustrating? Maraming mga bansa na gusto tayong tulungan. Gusto tayong back-upan. Tayo mismo ayaw gamitin yung panalo natin eh. Di ba? Lumabas din yan sa mga ASEAN. Nag-cover ako ng mga ASEAN summits nung mga time na yun. May mga bansa, kasama natin sa ASEAN, talagang gustong gamitin kasi legal right yun eh, di ba? Nasusulat, may desisyon. Tayo may karapatan, walang kwenta yung 9-dash line ng China. Tayo mismo ayaw gamitin eh. Kaya nga yung mga bansa tulad ng Vietnam, Malaysia, medyo frustrated nung time na yon. Mas maganda sana kung gamitin yung panalo ng Pilipinas, Pilipinas mismo ayaw gamitin. O ngayon, 180-degree yung turn. Di ba ngayon? At least ginagamit natin. And whether you like him or not, si President Marcos, pag binasa niya yung mga statements niya, very, very clear. No? Very, very clear. Yung paninindigan against China. Ito rin po sana maintindihan natin. No? Hindi porke naninindigan tayo dito sa ginagawang pambubuli ng China, pinuputol natin yung ugnayan natin with China. Hindi po yon, no? Hindi naman yan ang sum total ng ating relationship sa isang bansa. Maraming aspects po yan. Di ba sabihin na nagkagalit tayo dito, hindi na tayo pwede mag-usap pa dito sa kalakalan. Ewan natin sila. Pero talagang in the community of nations, kailangan natin ng isa't isa. Pero syempre, dapat meron din tayong mga red lines or non-negotiables. Ang problema kasi na naka-administrasyon, di ba? Especially nung nadidinig natin yan. Sino ba yung napakagaling na foreign secretary dati na naging senador uli? Di ba? Si Alan Peter Cayetano. May mga nadidinig pa tayong red lines sa kanya eh. Isa pang dikit sa China yun eh. No? Medyo quiet nga ngayon eh. Ano bang pinagsasabi ngayon ni kagalang-galang at pinagpipitaganang Senador Alan Peter Cayetano. Quiet sa China. No? Parang si Sara Duterte, si Vice President. Quiet. Bakit kaya? Diba normally pag may mga ganyang kalalaking issues dapat nagsasalita sila. Pero quiet eh. Ayaw ma-offend. Let's see. Dami nangyari eh. Sorry, na-trigger ako, no? Anyway. Trigger lang tayo. Okay. Hingang malalim. Yung maganda, no? Nakakapag-call out tayo. No? Isipin nyo kung nasa big network tayo. Hindi natin masasabi yan. Mga sinasabi ko kanina, nagwawala na yung mga tao sa sa newsroom, tsaka sa booth. Huy, tigilan mo na yan. Ma-offend si Alan Peter Cayetano. Bawal ma-offend yun eh, di ba? Nung panahon ng ABS-CBN franchise, bawal ma-offend. Kahit sila yung clearly kinakaligkad yung paa sa pag-tackle ng franchise application ng ABS-CBN noong 2020. Anyway, let's water under the bridge. Anyway, yung mga babati lang po tayo ngayong gabi, no? Ito. Binabati po natin si Miss Kathy Sanada. Happy birthday po, ma'am. Happy birthday po today. Nakita po kami niya, no? Nung nagkaroon po tayo ng gathering ng ating mga bagong kaibigan tsaka mga supporters ng Facts First dyan po sa Tokyo recently. So, happy birthday po, Miss Kathy. Buti pinaalala sa akin ni Menchi Mizuno yung inyong kaarawan today. Happy, 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 happy birthday po. Tapos ito, gusto rin po nating batiin isa po sa ating mga, sabi nila, number one fan. Nakakahiya naman kasi pag sinabing fan, feeling celebrity, no? Hindi naman tayo ganun eh. Honestly, no, I don't like the term media celebrity. Nakakaano eh. Medyo nakakilabot, no? Although marami tayong napapanood, no? Feeling nila media celebrity sila o media personality. Pwede nasa media pero wala namang personality, no? Masyadong presumptuous sa akin yung ganun term eh. Kasi pag media celebrity ka o personality, mag-artista ka na lang, no? Ano lang tayo rito? What a journalist doing journalism or serious journalism on another platform. Yun lang po. Segue yun kasi gusto nating batiin si Ma'am Jenny Reyes. Ayan. Oy, birthday rin po niya ngayon. Happy birthday po. Oo, Ma'am Jenny Reyes. Buti pinaalala sa akin ni Abel Pineda. Kilala niyo po ba si Abel Pineda? Paki-google niyo si Abel Pineda. Yan po yung napakatinik na hairstylist. Siya po yung nagugupit sa akin for so many years na. Ayan. Ano yan? Bigati niya na. Napakatinik. Galing-galing. Abel Pineda. Ano yan? Hairstylist for the rock stars. Hindi naman po ako rockstar, no? Na-discover ko siya nung nasa Philippine Daily Inquirer. Nagpagupit ako sa kanya and then galing eh. So since then, ilang taon na ba yan, Abel? Mga 10 years na, no? Nobody else touches my hair. O kaya, only Abel touches my hair. Ayan. Abel Pineda. Tapos binabati rin po natin si Divine Villafuerte. Ayan. Binabati rin natin yung, sabi niya, Sir Christian, pabati naman yung kapatid ng friend ko na magbe-birthday bukas. Si Ate Maria Sabado. 70th birthday. Oy, happy 70th birthday. 70th birthday po. Ma'am Maria Sabado. Thanks and more power. Team Replay yung friend ko. Busy sa paghahanda for tomorrow. Ngayon na yata yun, no? Late yung pagkakabasa ko kasi. Tapos si Rexy Salvador Reynoso. Hi Christian, is it possible to greet my daughter-in-law? Her name is Jel Moral Reynoso. It's her birthday tomorrow. That's late na natin ito nabasa, no? Pero kahapon ang birthday niya, December 13. Belated happy birthday sa'yo, Jel Moral. Tapos ito, binabati rin natin si ano bang pangalan mo talaga? Troy Sim Lense. Ayan, pag-greet naman dyan. Watching from St. John's, Newfoundland, tsaka Labrador. Ayan, maraming salamat sa iyo. Tapos si Max, nag-message ito sa akin sa Instagram. Sabi niya, pwede po ba favor? Pasensya na if demanding. I'm a fan kasi po. Ayan, yan. Binabati natin siya. Full name daw, Marlon Sabanal Posadas from Zamboanga City. Ayan, magandang gabi sa'yo, Max. Uy, nanonood si Ma'am Jenny. Oh. Ayan, oh. Ayan, nag-message. Oh. Tara, i-post natin. Ayan. Jenny Reyes. Sana magkita naman tayo minsan dyan sa kay Abel. Kakapagupit ko lang kay Abel kasi kailan ba? Early this week yata eh. O last week ba ako nagpagupit? Nakalimutan ko na. Iba talaga si Abel eh. Grabe naman, nakaka-touch naman yung message ni Salvador Espinosilla. Kung lahat ng journalist ay kagaya mo, palagay ko ang intelligence sa mga Pilipino ay tataas. It's true, nabansot. Sana, hindi naman tayo sa presumptuous. Pero dapat niya kasi pinagtutulong-tulungan natin eh. Kayo mismo, pag may mga conversations kayo sa mga parties, di ba ngayon, Christmas? Oh, nga pala, hindi ko ginagamit yung Happy Holidays eh. Ginagamit ko Merry Christmas eh. Bakit? It's about Christmas eh. Di ba? Anong gagawin natin? Papalitan natin. Okay. So, Christmas talaga. Kaya Merry Christmas ang bati ko lagi. Ayun. Sino pa mababatiin natin? Ito, si Jennifer. Jenny Jen. Sobrang Jenny na yan. Team Replay uli siya mamaya. Ay, grabe. Salamat naman. Oh. Binabanggit ko kanina, no? Pag may mga gatherings kayo, yung medyo ikwento nyo yung tama tungkol sa West Philippine Sea. Diba? For instance, one issue, o kaya issue sa intelligence funds. Pag yung mga ganyan small conversations na yan, pinagsama-sama nyo yan, imagine nyo yung virus ng disinformation. Para imagine nyo, i-visualize nyo, medyo magre-recede yan eh. Medyo lilinaw yung tubig ng impormasyon. Yan ang goal natin dito. Ayan. Si Diane Cabrera Coronel, shoutout naman sa husband niya, si Orlando Coronel na nasa London. Subscriber daw. Wow, maraming salamat naman sa'yo. Diane, mali, hindi Diane. Dane Cabrera Coronel. And kay Sir Orlando, maraming salamat po. Sino pa ba? Ito, si Dory Leganson Reyes. Uy, maraming salamat. Natanggap na rin niya yung t-shirt. Meron bagong dumating ngayon, pero konti pa lang. Nagpa-emergency manufacture ako ng ng shirts kasi ang dami naghahanap eh. Oo. Kaya mag-alala. Darating yan. Okay? Tapos pala, again yung Facts Natics Unite question natin for this week. Dapat bang suspindihin yung prangkisa o yung operasyon ng SMNI? Send us your video opinion or comment. Again, be respectful, focus on the facts, on the issues. Hanggang bukas po yung deadline. Bukas ng umaga, Friday. Padala niyo po sa akin, sa aking Facebook page, through the messenger, through messenger, yung inyo pong video. Up to 1 minute. Pwedeng patayo, pwedeng pahiga. Okay? Okay, medyo gutom na po ako. Pasensya na. Kita-kita po tayo. Ito, from Japan, may nanonood. Ayan, si Babez. Ayan, si Kennedy Santos. Late ka na. Ayan ang maganda naman sa social media, no? Recorded. Mara-record to after this So, pwede mo siyang balikan. Pwedeng on demand. Ayan. Si Ella Gabriel, maraming salamat sa'yo. Ilan po, basta, ayan. Salamat, Rob, Ayan, thank you. Thank you sa'yo. Eto, sige, shoutout. Ihabol natin. Si Robert Turla, shoutout sa kanyang daughter na masipag daw mag-duty sa Notre Dame, Baguio. Ayun, maraming salamat, Sir Robert. Tsaka hi sa iyong anak. Masipag na anak. Ayan, ano ba yung Notre Dame, Baguio? Ano po ba yung ospital? Bakit duty? Ayan. Okay, o sige po, pasensya na po Bukas ulit, may episode tayo tomorrow. Don't worry Nagkita-kita po tayo ulit. Sa Team Replay tsaka Team Delay, maraming salamat po. Magandang gabi po.